What is going on, guys? Dragon Tamer Blade here, back with some more Elder Scrolls Legends, and today is going to be the first episode of something new we're trying on the channel and in Legends in general, and it's going to be our first collaborative effort in Elder Scrolls Legends as well. So by far my favorite content creator. There's so many good ones, but my favorite one to watch, the first one I started watching, was Justin Larson. He makes excellent videos, both from a competitive standpoint as well as entertainment. So I reached out to him on Twitter with an idea I had and see if he was interested. And basically the gist of the idea is blind deck building. So how does that work? So I'm going to pick my own color. Not neutral, and obviously you can't choose dual attribute because you're choosing only one color. So you're going to choose one of the 5. And Justin is going to do the same. He's going to choose his own color. Hopefully they don't overlap. If they do, kind of have to scrap it and start over. So we're hoping that they don't overlap, but we've gone to efforts to try and make sure that they don't overlap. So we're each going to pick our own color. In this case, I chose blue. And the way it's going to work is I'm going to go through and I'm going to choose 25 cards of my own choosing. No discussions with Justin, no game planning, no deck strategy. We haven't decided it's going to be aggro, mid-range, control, whatever. We have decided nothing. We have discussed absolutely nothing besides choose 25 cards and put them into a deck, pretty much. And the way things are going to work for things like dual attribute, let's say I choose blue and Justin chooses red, or I choose blue and Justin chooses green. After we combine decks, so after I pick my 25 and I publish this video and Justin chooses his 25 and he publishes his video, we're going to exchange deck lists and we're going to form them into 150 card deck. So if our two colors combined have a dual attribute card that we want to use, it'll be then at our discretion whether or not we want to include it in our deck. So going back to the previous example, I chose willpower. If Justin chooses agility, I have the option to include Sadra's Agent in my deck, meaning I can drop any one card, either from my 25 or his 25, to include 1 to 3 Sadra's Agent cards, and Justin has the same option, but neither one of us is obligated, and if I choose Sadra's Agent, it doesn't mean that Justin has to. We have the same kind of mulligan opportunity here. So that's the general gist of it. This won't be as much of a problem for Justin as much as it might be for me, since he had just pretty much his collection completed. But if Justin's list of 25, basically if there's anything that I don't have that isn't a pretty comparable switch, for example, these are common cards so I have them, but let's say Justin included 3 Dunmer Nightblade and I don't have 3 Dunmer Nightblade, I could substitute 3 Crown Quartermasters because they're pretty similar. So if there's not something like that that I could do, without telling Justin my list or beforehand, I could either ask for replacements without telling him my list, but at that point I'll probably have already seen it, so the other option would be for me, like I said, to replace it with something as similar as possible to the card that I am missing. So after we do this deck building and we combine our decks into 150 card deck, each one of us is going to take that deck onto either the ladder or casual. It's optional wherever you want to take the deck to play it. And we're going to play 3 games and we're going to see who can have the most success, or any success at all, with our random Frankenstein deck. And we're going to see how things go. And the thing that's interesting about it is, as I've been thinking about these things, it's quite hard to choose a deck that is half of a deck. Usually you have some sort of strategy in mind when you're building a deck, so it's relatively easy to kind of plan the whole thing out. But with the way I'm doing this, I'm building half a deck, so I could have a strategy. But you don't want to be too tightly knit of a strategy, because if Justin went in a completely different direction, then we're basically screwed and we have no chance of winning. So which is why I formed the backbone of my deck with 3 Firebolts and 3 Lightning Bolts, just because those are cards that are good in basically every deck archetype. And you're never going to be upset to have one of those 3 cards. So moving on from that, I decided, since this is going to be the first time that we're doing this, and I have no idea what Justin's doing, I decided let's see if we can have a little fun. So I went ahead and I'm going to include 3 Dress Tormentors. And obviously, if I'm including 3 Dress Tormentors, we're going to want to have 3 Mace of Encumbrances to kind of synergize with Dress Tormentor. And to both synergize with having more prophecies with Lightning Bolt and to synergize with Dress Tormentor, we're going to include 3 Shrieking Harpies. So that'll put our deck already at 15 out of 25, and we've only really basically laid the groundwork for something. We have removal, we have prophecy removal, we have kind of gimmick / body, prophecy plus playing into gimmick, build up a creature / playing into gimmick, and that's it so far. And we still have 10 more slots to fill, more or less. So moving past that, you kind of have to look through here and figure, what else are we missing? Or what could work well in most decks? Now, I don't want to choose 3 Winter's Grasps. Normally you would say, sure, throw a bunch in because of Dress Tormentor. I don't want to put 3 in. I'm going to put 1 in. Just as a, if it happens, it happens, but you don't want to hold on to 3 of these and wind up having 3 with no reason to use them. Now, a card like Master of Arms is something that I would love to put in pretty often, but we're only running 1 item right now, so running a Master of Arms is a little bit risky, and I don't think it's quite worth it. What other cards can we run here? See, another, like I said, Gardener of Swords is something that I would sincerely consider just off of the flexibility of equipping different items to multiple creatures. But again, only running 1 item at the moment, and even if I run 3 Steel Swords or 3 Dunmer Nightblade or 3 Crown Quartermaster, that puts us almost at our 25, and we still only have 2 different types of items in the deck, which is why I'm not going to push that really much harder. To kind of play into this a little bit more, I mean, slightly more item synergy, but not quite. We're going to go with 2 Daggerfall Mage, which kind of plays into a little bit. It's almost a skeleton of the items portion of my items Battle Mage deck, but we're not going to quite go 1-to-1 with that. We are going to go with 3 Royal Sage, just to kind of try and push things over the limit a little bit. Give a little bit of boosts in terms of having some keywords. I almost want to put Wamasu in there as a late game, but it's just become so drowned out by other stronger things, I don't think it's worth it anymore. We could play Fate Weaver for Prophecy, but we're only running 2 at the moment, so I don't think it's super worth it, and I can't guarantee that Justin will be including multiple Prophecy cards. Desperate Conjuring is something that's interesting. I don't know if it's a good idea, but it's interesting. And conversely, we could run something like Evermore Steward or Ward Crafter, just to give things a little bit more of a boost. But I don't know if that's how we want to go with this. We need 4 more cards to round out our deck, which means we're running either a 3 of and a 1 of, or 2 2-ofs. Nakreen Dragon Priest isn't that good anymore. Stadium Headmaster isn't good at all. What do we need? What do we need? This is where things get difficult, because you want to put in something that fits. And you want to think of cards where, like, Stadium Dragonstar Rider would be tempting, but if he winds up running yellow, or even to an extent green, there's not that many equip cards, as many as there are in purple and red. So I don't think Dragonstar Rider is a safe bet. Putting 3 Tome of Alterations in there isn't a safe bet. Even like Baron of Terror can't be done, because it's only going to be half our deck that has these creatures. We could run Ash Servant, but we're really, really heavy on the 4 drops at the moment. So I don't think that's a direction we want to go in. Maybe we can go 2 Telvanni Arcanists and... We don't have enough actions to really warrant this. Although 3 and 6, 7 isn't a terrible number. But again, I don't know the other color, where green has a ton of actions, the other 3 not so much. I mean, yellow to an extent. Green and yellow have a decent amount of actions. Purple and red aren't going to be carrying as many actions, so putting something like Hexmage in there is a little bit risky as well. I think we could maybe go Telvanni Arcanist just for the randomness to maybe give us a chance here. I want to make sure I can get us a couple, 4 more useful cards that I wouldn't mind seeing. And this is where things get quite difficult. We don't have any last gasps to really warrant running Soul Split or anything else. 1 skilled blacksmith might not be the worst thing in the world, but again, if we're not running items, it winds up just being an average 2-cost card. Better than a, not better than a Harpy, but similar to a Harpy. It's coming about time to make a decision, though. I think we might be able to afford running maybe 2 Desperate Conjuring for fun, just for the laughs, and then 2 Telvanni Arcanists. We have almost no early game in this deck at all, but I think this is going to be the 25 that we roll with almost all early game. It's almost like an aggro deck, but not quite. So yeah, we're gonna roll with these 25. As soon as Justin's list and video is ready, I will send it over to him, and we can see how we do with our blind deck building, and see how well our decks mesh together. I have no doubt that Justin, no matter what garbage I hand him, will be able to succeed. But the hope is we also have a little bit of fun with this, which is why I included cards like Desperate Conjuring, Dress Tormentor, and Royal Sage, you know, just a little bit of randomness for fun, but also hopefully we can have a little bit of success here as well. Excuse me. So that's going to be it for this video. Over the next couple days, keep an eye out for the, I guess, the debut of this blind deck in action, and hopefully we can get a couple wins with it. But if you guys are excited about seeing our blind deck in action, please do leave a like down below if you don't mind. If you have any opinions on my 25, or if you want to give your own 25 that you would have used, maybe we can match up some commenters and let them play with blind decks from other commenters. That might be cool, or we could do something like that on Reddit. I don't know. But yeah, that's going to be it for now, guys. As always, thank you all very, very much for watching. I'm Dragon Tamer Blade, and I will see you guys next time.